Okay, I want you to relax your eyes, close your eyes, relax your mind, and let it go.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is the Don't Read My Mind podcast. I am your host, Lenny Reed, and this is episode 24. 24, how's everybody doing on this beautiful Monday? If you up, if you breathing, if you walking around, you are blessed. Enjoy it. Live it. Live life to the fullest, because you never know when your last day is that day or the day. You dig? So anyway, how is everybody feeling? How is everything going? We just trying to get back on the straight and narrow, trying to get everything back to normal. And, that's a hard thing to do. I understand that. But I think we can get through it. I think we can make it happen. We just got to stick together. We got to make sure everybody have a plan and everybody stick to that plan. And if somebody else need a helping hand, you got to lend that hand. You feel me? So, yeah, let's get started. I'm doing pretty good today, despite, a couple things going on in my life. But, you got to look at things in a positive light, because it could be way worse. And, I'm mainly here to lean on myself. I don't really try to lean on nothing else. I don't let anything overshadow my goods or my bads. I take responsibility for not everything. 100% of the things that I do is my responsibility. So, this episode, I want to take y'all to something that we all see, whether it's midday, you can see it, either on one side. It's kind of rare, but on the one side of the sky, and you see, the sun on the other side. You probably catch that once in a while, but mainly you see it at night. And I am talking about that shining white thing. And the reason I say shining white, because sometimes I will look in my backyard at night, and my whole backyard is lit. It's lit with this eerie ass moonlight. Right? You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the moon. So, this particular episode, the title is Who Built the Moon? Yes. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to get down into some, crazy things. Might go off the hinges a little bit, but if I don't do that, that's not me, right? All right. So I just want to make a few points about the moon. The moon always been weird to me, and since I got my telescope, I just been zooming in, looking at the moon, and it seems like the ultimate big brother. If you know what I'm saying, the ultimate camera in the sky. And I know that probably sounds crazy to some people, but it just feels like that, And when you get on that telescope and you zoom into the craters, and you can just see, I get so deep into it. I can see, basically, if anything driving on the moon, I would be able to see it with my telescope. So it just seemed like I'm just constantly trying to see what's up with the moon, trying to figure everything out about this weird eye in the sky. Yes, I call it an eye in the sky because it is. All right, so let's break down, a little bit where it all started. Well, before that, you had, going through the years, hundreds of years, thousands of years. It was something in the sky that, we can never touch or we can never get close to, right? Until 1969, the Apollo 11 landed on the moon. And you had well, it was three astronauts, but two of them are mainly the famous ones from this landing. You had Neil Armstrong, you had Buzz Aldrin. And I think it took about 3 days to travel to the moon. People think the moon is close, but it's not. The moon is kind of far. So let's put it like this. All the planets in our solar system, you can fit in between our Earth and the moon. I mean, all the planets, side by side, will fit in between the Earth and the moon. So you see that it's a huge distance. And it takes about 3 days to get there. Always had a problem with thinking that the moon landing was faked. That was something I always had an issue with, and probably I will continue to have an issue with. But that's not this podcast. That's for another podcast. My thing is, right? With the technology in a spaceship that we had, we have more technology in our phones, the Apple phone that we had in the spaceship. And you telling me we got all the way to the moon, landed on the moon, shot back up, connected with something, and flew back to Earth in 1965? I don't know. Like I said, that's for another podcast on did we ever go to the moon or not. So we're not going to start on that. But anyway, they was up there for about 21 days. And I'm sorry, 21 hours. 21 hours. So, the famous, I guess when Neil Armstrong stepped off the module, whatever, and he said 1 step for man, 1 step for, I forgot what he said. Anyway, that's not the point. Buzz Aldrin, the other astronaut, switched to the medical line. So they had the two lines for the public, and they had another medical line. More of a secure line, and he was able to switch to the medical line. And what he stated was, they are parked on the other side of the crater, and they are watching us. And that's what he said on the medical line. Now, you would think, what and who was he talking about? And I think one thing said is huge. Their ship is huge. He's not talking about Russia. He's not talking about China. He's not talking about no other country in the United States. Right? Something had them bugging out up there. So it's just something you really gotta break it down. And you got one thing I did notice when they came back, and you can see this on YouTube. When they came back, and they was doing a news conference, they was just sitting there. They had the craziest look on their face. They looked shook, like they seen something that changed their life mentally. And I know that gotta be hard to just keep that quiet, because I would have been blurting shit out as soon as I touched back down to Earth. And that was, I think, the first, that humans were able to see that something was going on the moon firsthand. So Buzz Aldrin always said something crazy, about the moon or alien life after that. So something changed his mind. So I think it was Apollo 12. They actually crash landed a lunar module. They slammed it into the moon surface. And they said when it hit, it rang like a bell for about an hour. So when them reports came out, that's when the hollow theory came out. That the moon was not like Earth. It was more of hollowed out. Because if you hit the surface of anything that's supposed to be like the Earth, whether a moon that's filled with that's dense as something like a moon, you would not get no kind of ringing sound when you hit, unless it's hollow. So that brought it up, and a lot of people start to think, yo, is the moon is some kind of hollowed out Death Star? Yeah, I said Death Star, like Star Wars and shit. Hollowed out Death Star kind of planetoid. So a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon trying to figure out what's actually going on with this mysterious ball that they named our moon. But I can get further into that. So you gotta understand, like I said, when I look at the moon, it's just different. It's something that's different. And one thing I can pull out the moon, and you can look with your own eyes if you get a telescope. The moon has craters in it from asteroid impacts. Okay. Now, one thing about that's kind of weird that you won't see nowhere else on any other moon or on our planet is all the impact craters are the same depth, but different widths. That doesn't make sense. So if you got something that's wide, real wide impact, that means the velocity of that asteroid was going, it was big and it was going fast. So when it hit, it made enough force to make that width of an impact crater. But all of them have the same depth. So with that sort of puts you in a mind too of some kind of hard kind of shell that's under the dirt. So it doesn't matter how hard you hit it. It would still make the same width because it would basically shatter the whole, asteroid as it comes in. But it only goes so deep, whether it's a small one or a big one. So that's something that's very crazy. And when you look at the moon, it just don't make no sense how, that can happen. So that's something that always got me, when I was looking at the moon. But we can even go back to like other civilizations. And when I was doing my little research on the other civilizations, it's like all over had little things in their scripts about the times before the moon or when the moon came. And I'm talking about all over the world. So how did these people even connect with each other to go off the same script or go off the same story? So you got the Zulu tribe, right? They believe the moon was brought here. Brought here. Or flew here or dragged here, whatever. By two reptilian brothers. Yes, reptilian brothers. Hey, listen. I know that sounds crazy, right? But I thought, a virus shutting down the United States was crazy. Until now. I thought the Twin Towers coming down like a pancake, right? I thought that was crazy. It happened. So if they say two reptilian brothers, you know what? I'm gonna believe it was two goddamn reptilian brothers, even if it sounds crazy. But anyway, sort of. All right. So when they brought the moon in, it sort of fixed Earth's rotation, but it affected Earth so bad that the axis actually flipped. And when they flipped the axis of the planet, that caused the flood. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just telling you what they wrote. That caused the flood, which broke down humanity to just a scattered number of people, which in turn goes all the way back to our ancestor, which is the Lucy that they found in Africa, right? So if you put everything together, that's how it's sort of coming out. Do it sound crazy? Yes. Are you supposed to believe it? I don't think so. But you just got to take all of this. So it also was in writings of Greek, ancient Greek and Columbian texts. And, you got to understand what all these people read. You have to put it together. You have to put it together. So every time you go outside and you look at the moon, you just gotta say, what the fuck is going on? It's a beautiful thing. But another thing I say, would we ever figure out what the moon really is? Like I said, when I had my telescope, man, I'll be zooming in. I'll be sitting there for hours, hoping I see a spark of light, a puff of smoke, dust kicking up from some kind of vehicle driving. Would I tell anybody? No, I won't tell nobody. I will mind my fucking business. But what I would do, that would be my job every night. And I would document everything. But would I tell people? No, I won't tell a soul. I won't tell nobody. I don't want to disappear. So I just mind my damn business. And I think that's what NASA shouldn't mind their business. They should let everybody know. But any single person that their whole life can be, put the pressure on, crazy, all that stuff. Yes. I will hope they mind their damn business, But there was a story I read. A NASA researcher, right? His name was Robin Britt. He said, and I quote, "It seems easier to explain the non-existence of the moon than it does to explain the existence or its existence." You understand what I'm saying? It's just like everything about the moon in its natural form. It's so off the hook, it doesn't even seem real. Because all the things that's jacked up with the moon, that's not something that comes random in life. It's something that's put there and placed there for a purpose. Maybe to create life or to sustain life. So that's, okay, so let's break down a couple things. The moon dust is very fine, and what some astronauts said, it has a smell of spent gunpowder. Meaning that there's a lot of crazy metallic compounds that's found on the moon. Sort of like you don't get them in nature. You would get them from some kind of creating something, building something, making something. So just let's go into my crazy mind real quick. All right, so if the moon was some kind of Death Star looking creation, right? The raw material, the dust that's needed to, or the dust that you would get as you build and fabricating this huge device. Some scientists say that dust can be, the moon dust that we see can actually be, from the building of whatever the moon is. So they put it on the outside because it's not man-made, right? I mean, it's sort of man-made. It's not from nature. Those kind of metals that's found on the surface of the moon is not from nature. So they could be put out there, just like you make a project with foam, a fake planet, right? You make the foam fake planet. And on the outside, you probably brush some dirt. You probably put some glue. Because I made it a few times for my kids' science project. So you spray glue around it, right? And then you sprinkle dirt and other stuff to make it look like a planet. You would do that with a regular science project, right? All right, so let's take that as a huge project, another civilization advanced project. Well, you got this Death Star thing, but you want to dress the outside of it to look like a planet or look like a moon. That's why when it's hit by asteroids or meteors, just hit, it just shatters because the shell is so hard. It only go off a few meters deep, if that. And just from the solid shell of this metal or whatever is encased in, it just, you know, makes an impact, but it don't go so deep because that energy would just break it up. Just a little something to break it down. And another thing you can find if you look in any kind of book or you look online or whatever, what you don't see in a lot of satellites or moons or other planets, they don't have the perfect geometrical symmetry that the moon has. I mean, the motherfucker like a straight ball, like a golf ball or a tennis ball. But you look at other moons, they got oval shapes and damn near half shapes missing or gouges missing out of them. But you have this perfect round ball that's floating in our sky, right? Now, this was another thing that was crazy. The moon is 108 moons from Earth, right? And the sun is 108 suns from Earth. A little bit perfect, right? So you have to have that perfect size and perfect distance to block out the sun. Right? You have to have the perfect distance to have a total eclipse to block out the sun. You probably would not get that with no other planet and their moon. You can block out the sun to the point that you just see the corona of the sun. Come on, son. Now, the craziest part is the tidal lock. Now, let's break this down. If you look at any other spot or any other satellite, moon, right? They spin around their planet. They actually spin as they rotate. And their planet spins. Not the moon. The moon is fixed on one side. And it's brilliant. It's brilliant because look, the moon is fixed on one side that moon stay there. It still orbits around the planet, but it stays on that one side so it can basically map the whole planet with that one side. That is very, very rare in our solar system, that you will have a moon that size, tidal lock, that does not spin. It just stays one face, goes all around the earth, all around the earth, all around the earth, constantly. And you telling me that ain't Big Brother? That's Big Brother times a billion. You read about that camera down the street. Imagine you got a huge camera that's in the sky. Not only that, if you compare every other planet to this moon, there's no other planet that has the size moon compared to the size of the planet that we have. It's quarter the size of our planet. Matter of fact, our moon is damn near twice the size as Pluto. Yeah. Our moon is twice the size as Pluto. Think about that for a minute. But we go about life just chilling. We never look up. At night, oh, the moon pretty. Keep it pushing. We did it for years, millions of years, 100,000 years or so. And you never look to see, like, this little motherfucker is weird. You know? Something going on. Something weird about this. Not only that, you got something that big, and it's like way light. The density is just is not to the size of the planet. It's a possibility that this thing is hollowed out. But would we ever find out? Would we ever find out? Probably not. And another thing, the planet does not, the moon does not rotate around our equator. If you notice, our planet is sort of cocked to the side a little bit, and that's where the moon stays at. It stays at that point. I think they said 5% off, something like that. I have to look it up. I'm just freestyling off the top here. And by the way, guys, I'm an idiot. All right, I'm just over here just trying to do my due diligence, you know. But anyway, the crazy thing is, if you take our moon away, the Earth will start to wobble. Weather would get crazy. Wind would pick up. Eventually, everybody would die because you will have this unstable Earth. You know, it's like the death wobble in them goddamn Ford trucks, Jeeps too. Anyway, it's like our stabilizer. You take the moon away, this planet just start doing some jumper jack shit. Wind going crazy, the earth, the ocean stop rotating in water. Fish die, life die. Yeah, nobody will survive. So that's something you got to think about. If you put that in perspective and saying like, we need this thing so much, and then you got to think about, could life have started without the moon? And my guess is nope, it wouldn't have. But in true fashion that I do, I want to get a little bit crazy right here. I want to dig deep on some crazy ass theories on what I think. It's probably not true, but sometimes I like to dig deep into my brain and see what kind of crazy shit I can pull out. All right? Y'all ready for this? All right, let's do it. Okay. My thing is this. Was our ancestors' spaceship eons ago, right? Meaning that was the moon our ancestors' spaceship that we brought here from another planet that was dying. I need to write a book or something like that. You know what, man? I think I can give Star Wars and all of them a run for their money, man. I gotta get some science fiction books going on. Anyway, all right, let's go back. All right, was the moon the way we got from our planet? Just say the moon is a spaceship, and our ancestors was highly advanced from another part of the universe. We was able basically to build a spaceship because we knew our planet was dying. So we built a spaceship, was able to get the whole planet on it. The size of the moon, if it was hollowed out, you can get a whole planet on it. So we was able to take the whole planet, and we just flew through space. We found this beautiful blue ball of water with some land on it. And we knew that it was kind of weird the way it was rotating. And all we had to do is adjust our spacecraft to the point that its gravitational pull on it will sort of make the Earth a livable place for our inhabitants, right? So we was able to do that. Earth sort of slowed down, wobbled and stopped, and we was able to fly down. And all the vehicles that we flew down on eventually lost the time. And as years and years and years, millions of years or whatever, we sort of lost the whole memory of that travel. And it's just in dreams that we remember it. Damn, son. You see that? Oh, shit. All right. Let me do another one. Okay. Or just say the moon was somebody else's spaceship. They flew. No. They had stuff, drones or whatever, come by, survey the planet. They seen apes here, but they see how hostile it was here, with other creatures, dinosaurs and shit like that, right? So They knew that maybe they can do some genetic manipulation, that they can maybe create a race of these things that they call humans. So what they did, off their godlike mathematics, they was able to see if a heavenly body of some sort of a moon with a certain weight, a certain pull, a certain drag was sort of, I'm freestyling here, hold on a second, was sort of stabilize this planet. So what they did, they got the calculations right, and they built this massive object, like a massive planetoid object. So what they did, they told it here, put it right at the perfect spot, and they just locked it there. And the reason they locked it there, probably to this day, some highly advanced thrusters keeps it set, and it sort of stays there to the point that it's locked in. And when it's locked in, or it has some kind of thrusters that keep it sort of stable. Just say like something way advanced to nuclear, how nuclear can last for a long time. This shit can last for millions of years. So basically, the moon will have its own thrusters to keep it stable. That's why it's locked. And I would call that the laboratory effect, because as they come down and they manipulate everything, they do something to kill off anything that can damage us or can against us, as far as other predators, dinosaurs or whatever. They kill them off. Right? Right? So they manipulate these ape-like things. Now, humans are created. I know it's don't go against the God and Jesus thing, y'all. But give me a second. Give me a second. So we go on as you know, these kind of ape smart things that just go on to, continue life on this planet. But the whole bridge to bring us together is still there in the sky, and it still keep an eye on us from those people, or that group, that race of people that started everything. I know this goes against the God thing, like I said, but hold up a second. So as this thing fixes itself and it doesn't rotate, it's able to scan the earth in one day. It can scan everything. It can see what everybody do on this planet in one day. And I think if you put those two stories together, I know they sound crazy, but a lot of shit sound crazy that people believe, right? Will we ever know? No. Or the last one is just everything about the moon is normal. Just like the earth started, the moon started too. It just so happened to be a big ass moon compared to this earth. Right size. Just so happened it doesn't rotate. It just stay fixed, title lock. The perfect way the moon is made, it started something else perfect, which is humans. You don't see that a lot. Definitely in this our solar system. So maybe we just lucky. Maybe everything else is just, it's just a cause. Maybe it just happened. So either way you look at it, we'd never know until they get up there and start to examine. But they haven't been back since 1972. It's something like, it's basically like something said, yo, y'all got to get out of here. If I see y'all again, it's going to be some problems. And we never went back. Not only just we, nobody. Russia, nobody went back. It seemed like everybody just said, yo, we not fucking with the moon no more. Y'all could, we not. No, we ain't fucking with it either. You got to think about that. And maybe one day we will find out what it really is and what's really going on. But until then, let your mind go, baby. Have fun. Think outside the box, because only you outside the box can let everybody know what's going on inside the box, if they wrong or not. But if everybody inside of the box thinking the same, that's scary. That means everybody can jump off the cliff at the same time. You dig? But anyway, guys, thank y'all for listening. This has been another episode of Don't Read My Mind podcast. I am your host, Lenny Reed. This is episode 24. I would like to thank everybody that spent their time to listen to this channel. I'll call it comedy. I'll put this in the comedy section. Because all I'm doing is I'm just having a good time talking about this. I smile, I laugh. I'm not taking a lot of things serious. So that's why I put this in the comedy section. So guys, I want y'all to share this channel with anybody you think that'll be interested in this. Alright? And go by my Twitter channel. It's DRMM podcast. Alright? And you can also go by my Instagram channel. It's the same thing. DRMM podcast. Alright? I'm your host, Lenny Reed. Y'all be good. Have a wonderful Monday. Peace and love. Peace.